Hey guys, and welcome to our first gear review video. In this one we're going to talk all about our second-hand €500 bikes and how they've held up after the first, 3,000 kilometers and 3 months of traveling around the world. So we have almost reached our first big milestone of arriving in Athens, and we thought this was the perfect time to take a first look at how our bikes have held up until now. We'll try to do some reviews like this every few months or half a year, just to see what changes of how our opinions of certain parts change, and if there are things that we replace after a certain while. So Louisa and I both got our bikes off of eBay, second-hand, and I think I paid around €400 for my bike and Louisa around €600. So they're definitely pretty cheap bikes compared to very high-end touring bikes that can cost several thousand euros. The reason why we chose to do our around-the-world trip on relatively simple bikes is because then pretty much if anything breaks, you can either fix it yourself directly with the parts you have with you, or you can get the parts really easily anywhere around the world. This can be a problem, doesn't have to be, but can be a problem with very high-end bikes where they have high-end components that are only made in certain countries, that you can only get the spare parts from that specific country, which can take months to deliver to some foreign country. But having said that, of course, there's no right or wrong way to travel around the world with a bicycle. You can have a very high-end touring bike that pretty much doesn't break, or you can have a more basic bike like we do, that in the initial, when you buy it, costs less, but then might need a few more parts along the way. So Louisa and I both decided to get steel frames for our travel bikes. Even though modern aluminum frames are probably more than up to the task of being a super sturdy travel frame, we just like the simplicity of an old basic steel frame. My frame is from the company Wheeler, which is a Taiwanese brand as far as I know. It's the model Trekking 8700, no idea what that is. But yeah, so far it's been super sturdy. It's over 20 years old, if you believe it or not, and it's just, it's really good. The fork is also chromoly steel and also super sturdy so far, so absolutely no complaints there. Of course it's still the beginning of our trip, but I hope nothing major is going to happen to the frames or the fork in the next few months. Alright, so let's run through our bikes from front to back, because I think that's the most logical. Starting with the front, when we bought our bikes, they didn't have any hub dynamo installed on them. We wanted a very good hub dynamo, not only for our powerful lights, but also to charge our phones by USB. So we got the Sun 28 hub dynamo, which we heard is one of the best, and so far it's been running great, but then again it's only been 3,000 kilometers. The rims already came with the bike. They are Ride Zack 2000 rims on my bike. I'm very happy with them. I laced in the whole front wheel by myself, and it was it's been running great, even though I'm a novice and that was my first time lacing them. Then going up a bit, we have very simple cable operated V brakes. Again, like I said before, just so it's really easy to fix. No fluids for hydraulic brakes, no discs, just very basic V brakes. The lights, we both have the Busch & Müller, which is a German brand, IQX front lights. They're very powerful, they're 100 lux, they're the most powerful hub dynamo lights we could find. And what's pretty cool but doesn't work perfectly is it has a sensor inside that during the day when it's bright outside it doesn't run at full power, which means there's more energy left, for example, for charging the phone if you cycle with it on during the day. And then when it gets dark, it goes to full power. The problem is in dawn or dusk, when it's not quite dark but not quite bright, then it tends to go on and off between this bright and dark mode, and that's a bit annoying. But otherwise it's really cool and it's really bright. So also from the brand Busch and Müller, which make the lights, we have the USB-Werk, which is a USB charger for several devices that's connected to the hub dynamo. And as you can see around here, going into my front bag, so it's all waterproof, you have the USB outlet, which then I just keep in here because this is the only non-waterproof part, and have it connected to my phone. While we're at it, let's have a look at the cockpit. So essentially the front bag with a map on it. I just like having a map as an overview. Phone for navigating, yeah, in cities and so on, with the quad lock, which I quite like. It is a bit annoying sometimes getting it on. I can't do it with my left hand, for example. But otherwise, it's pretty good. Then my Cube speedometer, bike computer, which I'm pretty happy with. The elevation isn't so accurate, but then again, don't really use it that much. Bottle holder, which is a must-have, not only for squirting dogs with our water bottle if needed, but also that it's just really easy access, and you can use this as a little trash can, whatever. Then going to the right, just some antibacterial disinfecting stuff. It's always quick at hand. Some little horns just so I have I can put my hands somewhere else, which is enough for me at least. And the GoPro swivel mount with which we can change the direction and everything of the GoPros while we're riding. Then we both have what's it called, cork, I think, grips. And they're really nice because the rubber ones tend to disintegrate if you're sweating on them, but these ones are great in really hot conditions and really cold conditions, in rain. So far it's been really perfect. Also a must-have is our little horn, electric USB rechargeable horn with the remote up here, so we can literally just brake and shift even while actuating the horn, and this in big cities is really important. And then on the left side, the handbrake, which is just pretty much this bungee cord, so like it's standing now, the bike doesn't roll away. A bell and a small mirror on the side, which is also very useful in traffic. So, talking about our tires, we are definitely not that happy with our tires. I have 47mm wide tires, which is pretty much, I think, the widest I can fit on my bike. But I'm fine with the width. The only problem is these are the Schwalbe Marathon Mondial, which I thought were pretty good tires, but then again they were completely shredded by lots of little thorns pretty easily, so not exactly what I expected. So once these are gone, I'm definitely going to have a look at some better tires. Louise is going to talk about her tires later on. Then having another look at the mud guards, as you can see these are pretty damn close because they're actually made for much smaller tires. And this is actually one thing we're going to change when we're in Athens now. We're going to have to kind of modify some mud guards so we have more clearance between the tire and the guard. Let's have a look at the center of the bike. Quick word to our pedals. I'm pretty happy with my pedals. They're pretty basic, to be honest, also from Cube, I think. What I just like is the big surface area, so when you're standing on them for a long time, it doesn't hurt your feet. The bottle constellation, yeah, with two big 1.5 liter stainless or 1.4 liter stainless steel bottles with big holders for them, and then a small half-liter petrol or fuel bottle for our petrol for our cooker. Yeah, pump from KTM. I'm really happy with this. It has a barometer, which is nice to have, and a nice long whip, so it doesn't go on the valves so much when you're pumping up. And what's really good, it doesn't have a flip thing to secure it on the valve, but you screw it on either the Schrader or the Presta valves, which is much nicer because it doesn't put so much force on the valves. Talking about seat and seat posts, the seat post also isn't the best. I got it at some bike store. But I really like the parallelogram suspended seat posts. I don't like the ones where it goes in as much, but I think it's just preference. And this leather saddle came with the bike second-hand. I've been oiling it a bit every now and then with just like shoe cream, and it's been holding up all right. But I think if this is worn out, like the pins here are starting to get through a bit, and I think once this is worn out, I don't know if I'll get another leather saddle or a gel one. I'll see when it's time. We do still have kickstands on our bikes, but I'm actually going to take this off because I never use it. If I were to use this with all this luggage, it would just snap off or bend my frame. So we always use these hiking sticks to put our bikes on a stand essentially. Just put it under the seat here. And this collapses nice and short and then comes up here when we're riding. It's really, really good. So I have the Shimano Dior LX. It's an older system, but I got it with the bike as well, but only 8 gears at the back. But I'm really happy with it so far. It's working perfectly. My chain and cassettes and sprockets at the front are completely worn out. Actually, I was told in Austria still that they would probably only last 300 kilometers, and now we've done 3,000, but it's definitely time for new ones, and that's also what we're going to do in Athens now. It's just I'm going to replace the cassette and the sprockets and the chain, of course, as well, and clean everything, oil everything, and so on. Alright, let's talk about the back setup. Of course, most important part are the guitars and the guitar racks, but I'm not going to talk about that because we have a separate video just about how we made them. In general, we have our two back panniers, the tarp here to cover the bikes at night, and the roll on the back. At the back I have two Faude bags, and then the rest of my stuff is pretty much Ortlieb. Louisa has more Faude stuff, but she'll talk about that in a bit. I'm super happy with these. I don't know why I chose the Faude for the back and Ortlieb for the rest. I don't see much difference in them at the moment. Let's see how well they hold up in the long run. But yeah, I'm really happy with the setup, and there's nothing I can so far say about it that would be bad, for example. Only one thing to mention, while Louisa still uses bungees to fasten her roll on the back, I use these rock straps, I think they're called, they're made for motorbikes, as far as, motorbike luggage as far as I know. I really like these. They sit super tight and they don't budge, and it's really, really good, and they just stay on permanently, so yeah, that's really good. One more word to my front bag. It's pretty small. I think if I were to get a new one, I would get a little bit bigger one, but I think the Ortlieb one, the bigger version of this from Ortlieb, looks a bit too big, so I don't know, I might have to find a better solution that's kind of in between. Maybe Louisa's bag, because it's a bit bigger than mine, is the perfect size. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, that's enough from my side. Now is Louisa's turn.
Okay, so there's not that much left to talk about, as Toby and I have many components that are the same. But of course there are some things different on my bike. For example, the tires. I only have 42 tires, and yeah, they're a bit too small. I need bigger ones when the road gets a bit, how do you say it?
Bumpy.
A bit bumpy. And also I've had many flat tires, and that's a bit annoying, so I definitely have to get better ones. And also I'm gonna get new mudguards probably, because yeah, as you can see, there's already not that much space, and when there's some dirt beneath it, you already can hear it scrape all the time, and when the tires are even bigger, then that's not gonna fit anymore. Yeah, so dynamo, lights and everything is the same as Toby's. I have 2 bottle holders here because I have this kind of frame and I couldn't fit 2 bottles, so only this one. And we actually had to search a bit for a bottle holder which would fit in here and also would fit this bottle. But now, especially with this bungee here, this is pretty good. So now I have space for like, yeah, these are all 1 liter, so about 3.5 liters, which is okay. So as Toby already said, I also have a chrome moly steel frame. It's from the brand Hercules and it's also quite a few years old already. My pedals probably don't look too good to you and I'm also not too happy with them. They don't have a lot of grip, and especially when my shoes are wet I just slide on them, which is pretty annoying and also doesn't help while riding. So I'm definitely gonna get new ones here. My drivetrain is the Shimano Deore XT. It's a bit newer than Toby's. It has 9 gears at the back and 3 at the front. And as you might have seen, it is pretty dirty, but that's also because we couldn't find any spray to clean it in all of Albania, and we asked in several bike shops. To secure my roll on the back I use 4 bungees, 2 in the middle and 2 on the sides. I probably wouldn't need those on the sides, but I like them. Problem is that they tend to get worn out easily. I think this one is okay, but you can see it here. Yeah, I will get new ones for that, I think. And I also got 2 new ones here already, because the other ones were worn out already. But the good thing is I can always use those 2 to put some wet stuff on it, like wet clothes or some towels, and yeah, I don't have to pack them away when they're wet. I do have a gel saddle, no leather one, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. It's just Terry Physio Gel for women, and I think it's comfortable. I like it. Down here I have one of those, I don't know how to say it in English.
Suspended seat belts.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I didn't have many options because my frame has a size not many frames have, so I think there were like 3 I had to choose of, so I chose this one, and that's okay. And actually we both needed those shims here because yeah, our old frames seem to have just different diameters than new frames seem to have. So we needed those to find any seat posts that would even fit in here. Otherwise it wouldn't have worked out at all.
Alright, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions for us, please write them in the comments. Because especially when it comes to tires and so on, even though we've already gotten a lot of suggestions from you guys, it's really interesting to hear what you use and what experiences you've had with them. So yeah, let us know.